Alright. Hey everybody. Hola. So, I've never gotten a chance to really talk about this whole Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. This is just all really craziness. And I figured in this video, what I would talk about is both sides of the argument. Of why All Lives Matter is important, but also Black Lives Matter is important. Um, and talking about everything such as that. Excuse me for like 5 seconds. Okay, so I figured what I start off with is something of my own personal experience, just with identity and just with race and things in general. So as you can tell, I'm pretty black. Um, I'm not dark skinned, but I am light skinned. So I mean, it's pretty apparent I have black in my blood. Um, My bloodline is of English, like UK, London, English, and African American. And I believe somewhere deep in my family, a little bit of French and maybe just a tiny ounce of other minorities and other things. So here's my personal experience as a minority. And let me just say real quick, I consider myself a quadruple minority. Number one, I'm black. Number two, I'm bisexual. Number three, I'm a woman. And number four, I'm plus size. And I'm a little bit bigger than most women in the world. So I have four things I have to carry with me everywhere I go. And I care about all four of these issues. I'm just saying now, I'm a heavy advocate for Black Lives Matter because they do matter. You can't invalidate my skin color. I'm an awesome person. I'm a great person to get to know, but you can't invalidate my skin color. It means too much to me. Second of all, I'm bisexual. I care very much about LGBTQ issues. I have friends that are transgender. I have friends that are bisexual, such as myself. I have friends that are lesbian, and I have friends that are gay, and I love them just like any other person in the United States of America loves their mother, their father, their brother, their sister, their uncle, their cousins, their grandfather, their grandmother. I love them all the same, like they were my family. So any issue that involves them, I love them. Number three, I'm plus size. I'm a woman of bigger size. I'm proud to say that. I'm proud to be who I am because it's part of who I am. I've been chunky since I was a kid. So chunkiness is nothing new. And I'm proud of who I am. And I'm proud of what I stand for. And I happily rock any plus size clothes because I know I look good in it. And if that encourages other girls to feel good about who they are and feel good about the size that they wear, then I guess I'm just going to keep rocking plus size clothes, modern and retro and chic and all of that, to show them that a big girl does not have to be in mom clothes to still be attractive and to still be a woman and to still mean something to somebody. And thus, and most importantly, I am a woman. I am a woman who has goals, who has ambitions, who has dreams, who wants to be an English professor, who wants to be teaching writing and creative writing, and wants to be in a field where not many women my color and my size and my intellect get to do. Not many women in my history of my family have been able to do that. A lot of women in my family, and I love them with all my heart, a lot of the women in my family have been able to complete at least a high school degree and then maybe went on to college and got a 4 year degree. There's not many women in my family that have been able to do that. So me to be a part of that history and to have a college degree within my own family, and my mom to have a college degree, and my sister to have a college degree, and for me to have cousins that have college degrees, I'm pretty much proud of the person that I am. And I've been raised by women. I've been raised by my father as well, who's the greatest man I could ever ask for in my life. But I've been raised by women my whole life. It's us four girls and my dad. That's my life. That's my family and that's my life. And I've been raised by strong women. And I would never forget with all the things that they taught me. Taught me how to be a mother, taught me how to be a woman, taught me how to be a black woman, and taught me how to be a black educated black woman. So yeah, they gave me all my black girl magic, all of it. So I give it to the world. Um, so that's just me as a person. Like I said, I'm a quadruple minority. I got 4 different things I carry on my back every single day of my life. So I figured since everybody seems to have a disconnect between each other, especially All Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter, there's a big disconnect. And the disconnect is not because people believe in different things, but because number one, we don't have empathy towards each other. Number two, we don't understand our history. And number three, we need to be refreshed on what our history is. Meaning, we need to take our butts back into the classroom and we need to learn about each other. And we need to learn about activism and we need to learn about advocacy. And we need to learn the difference between advocacy and activism versus violence and stubbornness. Because everybody's gonna go blue in the face to tell you either why all lives matter or why Black Lives Matter. At the end of the day, it has nothing to do with anything like that. What it has to do with human lives, what you stand for, what you believe in, and what you plan to do, which is activism and advocacy in the same breath. You're gonna sit there and look stupid, or you're gonna go out there and you're gonna do something about it. And when you're in the process of doing something about it, are you going to make smart decisions in what you decide to do? Or are you going to be an idiot and use guns and violence and anger and hatred to try to prove a point? Because apparently you're not proving much. You're just taking lives. You're not really proving anything. You're just taking lives. So I figured the way I start this off is by using an analogy that was so important to me, I had to write it down. As soon as I wrote it down and I read it to myself, I was like, I am a genius with this analogy. Like, I understood it all. I understood it. So, like I said, I'm a quadruple minority. But I've lived in Georgia and I've lived in New York. New York, Syracuse, New York, I was born and raised. 12 years. I moved out of New York and I moved to Athens, Georgia. Athens, Georgia, I've lived in 6 years. And then after that, for the next 4 years, I moved to Statesboro, Georgia, so that I can get my college degree. I have a Bachelor's of Arts in Writing and Linguistics and a minor in English. So everything I'm about to spit, I have over a 3.0 GPA, and in my African American literature, theater, and history class, I have a B or higher grade. So all the info that I'm about to spit is true info, and is only from my views and my views only. And I'm so serious about all the stuff I'm about to spit. I have a whole works cited underneath this whole entire video, so you can go out in the world and learn about your history and learn about why you're being an advocate for the things that you're being an advocate for and why you choose to be an activist. Because if you don't have a starting point as to why you're an activist, then maybe you need to put the sign down. Maybe you need to stop posting on Instagram. And maybe you need to stop saying that you care about this, but you have no idea where it started. You have no idea who to give credit to, and you have no idea why you're angry. So if you have no idea why you're angry and you have no idea why you're starting this, then why are you participating? Let's just keep it real. So I'm gonna start off with this analogy, and I call it the pizza party. Now, this is how I'm gonna explain race relations in the South. This is just my experience. This is just how I see it. You disagree? You disagree. I don't really care though. I don't really care. This is just how I see it. So, there's this big party in somebody's house, somebody's apartment, and 8 people have been invited. So, this is the demographics of the 8 people that come. 2 of them are white kids, 2 of them are black, 2 are Japanese American, and 2 are Hispanic Latino students. 1 is a Mexican American. Out of the 2 Hispanic students, 1 is a Mexican American and 1 is a Cuban American. Stay with me. There's 8 people. Now, remind you, a pizza, a large pizza, is 8 slices of pizza. That's what pizza's always been. Anybody that's a foodie, you already know. A pizza has 8 slices. So there's 8 people at this party. So that means 8 people are going to get 1 equal slice. 1 equally sized, big ass slice of pizza. Stay with me. So the white kids take their pizza first. And then one of the white kids says, guys, me and my friend, or the white kid with him, me and my friend, we've been hungry since like noon. So is it cool, you guys, if we take two slices a piece? Now, these two white kids want two slices apiece. So one has two slices, another has two slices. That means four slices of this pizza has just now been decided to disappear. So because the others in the group, aka the minorities, the others in the group don't want to cause any drama because the party is nice, it's starting off nice. The white people are being really generous and really nice and letting them have this party at their house. So because they're having this party here and because the white kids are nice to them, they say, sure, you guys can feel free to take two slices. So the two white kids take the two slices each. So now four slices of that pizza has disappeared. Now the two white kids are eating their two slices of pizza and they're enjoying it. But here's the problem. Remember, it's 8 people. So two of those people just got their hunger satisfied with four slices of pizza between the two of them. And now there's four more people. There's 4 people, and now there's 6 people at this table who have to fight over four slices of pizza. But instead of fighting over these four slices of pizza, they decide, okay, well, it's four slices of pizza. Maybe if we split each of these slices in half, each of us can at least have one slice, maybe two. So that's what they do. They take the four slices and they split them in half. But here's the unfortunate thing. Of course, they split those four slices in half. So that equals what? 8 little slices? That equals about 8 little slices. So 6 of those people have 2 slices of pizza. So, no, I'm playing. 6 of those people have one slice of pizza, but 2 of those people have 2 half pieces of pizza. But here's the moral of the story, kids. Even though the 2 people have both halves of one slice of pizza, even though one person, excuse me, even though one person has both halves of one whole slice of pizza, both of those halves are still smaller than the 2 white kids with 4 big old slices of pizza. And then the other 6, their slices of pizza are still smaller than the white kids, and now even more smaller than the person who has the 2 small slices combined together to be one slice of pizza. So just like those 2 white kids have 4 slices of pizza between the two of them, only one person, one minority, has one full slice of pizza, which means that only one person has a full access to the same opportunities as the white kid, but they don't have 2 slices of pizza. And then everybody else in the group only has half pieces. So they gonna have to order another dang pizza for them to actually have a whole slice of pizza and the same opportunities as the white kid. That's race relations in the South, which is everybody is supposed to get the same equal slice of pizza, but still don't nobody get the same equal slice of pizza. Everybody got to order another box, so then everybody can have another slice of pizza. And then when you start adding new minorities to the group, more boxes of pizza have to be ordered. Now, let's get to race relations in the North. If you got lost, you're really gonna enjoy this one. This one is a doozy. Okay, so this is race relations in the North. Same pizza, same 8 people, but the demographics now has changed. Now it's not 2 white male kids like the first pizza party. Now it's 2 white kids, one white male and one white female, and that white female identifies as LGBTQ. You still have 2 black kids, but one of those black kids has a PhD, meaning they have a doctorate degree. Stay with me. Now there's no longer two Japanese American kids. Now it's just one Japanese American kid. Still two Hispanic kids now, but they're not Mexican American or Cuban American. They're kids from Mexico and Cuba, and they speak no English. And now, instead of adding another Hispanic to the table, this time a Native American has been added to the table. So stay with me. Two white kids, two black kids, one Japanese, two Hispanic, one Native American. 8 people. Different demographics now, but 8 people. Same pizza, 8 slices. You would think, oh, this time everybody go get a slice. Because you know the North it's a pretty awesome place. Everybody usually gets the same opportunity. Oh, it's gonna be fun. No. So the two white kids asked for the same thing, the same request. You know, we're kind of hungry. Could we have 2 slices? Because don't nobody want to fight the table. Everybody says, sure, you can have 2 slices. That's fine. But here's the problem with this pizza now. Here's the problem. The real problem with this pizza now. The people at the pizza shop failed to see that they were mixing fresh ingredients, meaning good cheese, good meat, good veggies, good sauce, failed to see that they were mixing good ingredients with spoiled ingredients, meaning meat that's rotting, cheese that's spoiled, sauce that's starting to occur, and vegetables that are slowly turning brown. But they don't realize this because they're busy trying to make the pizza because they don't want it to be late. Because you know, some pizza places they got a rule: if you're 30 minutes late with a pizza, the pizza's for free. Not many businesses want to give you a pizza for free, so they're gonna rush through and get the pizza done so they can get it to your house, so they don't have to worry about that rule. So they're rushing to get the pizza done, and they fail to see that some of these ingredients are spoiled ingredients and some of these ingredients are fresh. So now they're getting a pizza where 4 of these slices are healthy slices of pizza and 4 of these slices are spoiled slices of pizza, meaning people are going to get sick. So when they finally get the pizza, of course, two white kids, they take their pizza. But here's the catch 22 of all of this. Catch 22 is the only person, there's only one person in this room of 8 people who has two perfectly fine and perfectly healthy slices of pizza. And if you're at home trying to figure it out, yeah, you guessed it. It's the white male. He has the two perfectly fine and perfectly healthy slices of pizza. The white female only has one healthy slice of pizza. Her other slice of pizza is spoiled, meaning she's going to get sick. So, same situation. Two white kids have just taken their 2 pieces, so now that leaves 4 pieces left. So now, three of these to try to solve the issue. 3 of these pieces of pizza are gonna get cut in half. Because remember, there's 6 people left. Still, I ain't got no pizza. So 3 of these slices of pizza is gonna be cut in half, and then one last slice of pizza is gonna be left. But what they don't know is that 2 of these slices of pizza are perfectly healthy, but the last 4 are spoiled, meaning 4 more people are gonna get sick. So that means 5 people in this room are gonna get sick, and 3 people are gonna be totally fine. So of course, the 3 slices of pizza, they cut them in half. Each of the 6 people is able to get 1 slice, and then there's one big old slice left, where another person is able to get at least 2 small slices of pizza. And here's the moral of the story, kids. Either way with this pizza, it will never be equal. It will never be equal because only two people of this room of 8 people is going to be perfectly healthy and perfectly fine when they leave this party. Meaning one minority and the white male are going to be perfectly fine when they leave this party. But now, 5 people are going to be sick. 5 people are gonna be sick. 5 people are gonna be sick. And out of those 5, let me hold on. Let me break that down again. So, moral of the story is this, kids: the pizza will never be equal because 2 of the 3 people who ate the perfectly fine slices of pizza still don't have a full equal slice than the white male who has 2 big equal slices. So the 2 of them with their 2 small slices together cannot make up for 2 big slices of pizza that this white male just ate, and he's perfectly fine. And they're still gonna be inferior to even the white woman who identifies as LGBTQ. Still gonna be inferior to her because she still has 1 slice of pizza still good. But even so, she's not safe either because she has 1 slice of pizza where she's gonna get sick. And then there's 5 other people who's gonna be, and then there's 5 other people who's gonna be eating their half slices of pizza, and then they're gonna get sick. And then there's gonna be one that has at least 2 small slices of pizza, and that person's still gonna get sick. So the moral of the story is, in the North, referring to the pizza, regardless of how equal you try to make that pizza be, there's gonna be one minority who will never measure up to a white person. That's just the reality of the world. In the South, that's just the reality of the world. There's gonna be a group of minorities that can never match up to a white person. Regardless if you have access to the same things that they have, you will never match up to them. That's what we've always been conditioned to know in the South. It's just something that black kids have always been conditioned to know. And it's tragic to know. But that is something that black kids have been conditioned to know, which is you will never match the same level as a white kid standing in front of you. You can have the same degree as him, be going through the same master's degree program as him, and you can have the same job as him. But the same things that you do can never match up to him. But in the North, it's different. In the North is, yeah, everything is equal for you guys, and you can pursue the same equal opportunities, but don't forget, you're still inferior to me. So, just as you saw in the story, the white male had 2 perfectly healthy, fine slices of pizza, and he's fine. But everybody else in the room has gotten sick, except for maybe 1 or 2 people who have at least half of one of the half slices of the 2 perfectly fine slices of pizza that were left from the 4 altogether left in the box. After the 2 white kids took their 2 slices. Out of the 4, with 2 spoiled and 2 okay, there's only going to be 1 or 2 of them that's going to be okay. But they will still never measure up to the same level as the white kid with the 2 equal slices of pizza. Never measure up. Because he's always going to have to accustom himself to having half slices. Always. That's the moral of the story. Minorities have been conditioned to always accustom themselves to having half slices of pizza rather than a full slice, which is just like the American dream. Basically, I just gave you a metaphor for the American dream. We are always been conditioned to know that you will never get the full American dream. You'll just get half of it. And that half is an education, a job, a paycheck, a house, and maybe some land. But that's not true for every minority because there are still Native American colonies and tribes still living in reservations, surrounded by poverty, alcoholism, and drug addiction. Yeah, crazy. The people that founded the land can't even live on it. Interesting, right? Okay, so if you got confused with that, just play that over again and really listen to what I'm trying to say. Just really listen. Listen to what I'm trying to say. So, this is why I'm gonna start with all lives matters first. This is why all lives matter is important first. And I know I'm getting ready for the criticism. I know it's gonna come, but just hear me out. So the reason all lives matters is important is because what they're basically saying is that we don't really care too much about your race, your religion, your sexual orientation, your gender, or anything. We just care about you as a human being. Care about the person that you are and the person that you stand in and the person that you are. That's what we care about. We care about your soul and you as a human being. So you as a human being, without any label put on you, you are important and you matter. That's basically what they're arguing. Basically, they're arguing that a human life, you matter. It's regardless of what you stand for, what you look like, what you do, who you love, it doesn't matter. You as a human being, you matter. So that is the heart of the compassionate because they care about people and they care about the people in their lives and they want the people in their lives to live and to be happy and to live in peace. Because it is true, only love can conquer hate. So when you have so much hate and misunderstanding of what we're really trying to say, you miss the whole point. I'm not trying to invalidate your race. I'm not trying to invalidate your gender. I'm not trying to invalidate your religion. I'm just trying to let you know that I love you as a human being and I care about your life. And I care about you being here in this world. And I care about you living another couple of years to make a difference in the world. So all lives matter is important because it points out the humanistic idea that everyone is loved and they're important and you should have compassion for everyone, regardless of their race or regardless of what they go through. And that is a plausible argument. And all power to people. I'm all about loving and caring about people and compassion. However, all lives matter is also the heart of the ignorant. Even though all of y'all may believe in kumbaya, everyone is important, everyone matters, you cannot deny the fact. You cannot deny the fact that their minority and other things, other societal things that define who they are, is not a part of them. Yes, my life as a human being, it matters. My niece's life matters, my nephew's life matters, but my niece and my nephew and I, we are black and we are young and we're educated. So a lot of the access of things that we have is very limited in the society and in this world. And I'll give you a prime example from my own personal life. My niece Layla was hanging with a group of her friends, mind you, they're all little black girls, who were playing in a playhouse. And they were playing and saw the little white girl was playing on her own. So, my niece, having the kind heart that she does, kind heart that she truly does, went over. Them as a group, they all went over to her to try to play with her and to give her toys to play with. So she would be playing by herself. So the little girl, little white girl, even after countless times that Layla and her friends offered to play with this little girl, she turned their backs. The little white girl turned her back on them and said no. And when they would grab a toy that she was previously playing with so that they could play with it too, this little white girl would come, snatch the toy, and walk away. So, my niece Layla, being the gentle soul that she is, of course took it the hard way. Because she saw it as this little white girl didn't want to play with her. And you gotta understand, for a minority, and especially for someone who advocates for everybody, as a minority that advocates for everybody, it's very difficult for me to say, well, Layla, it's because her mommy and daddy didn't teach her right. They didn't teach her how to talk to white. They didn't teach her about black people, and they didn't teach her about how to treat you. So, Layla, don't worry about it. You're loved by us. But I can't teach my niece that hate. I can't teach her that. All I can say to her is, well, Layla, you're different from her. And you do things differently. And you say things differently and you dress differently. And I'm gonna have to say to her, Layla, she just probably doesn't like different. But what I really can't say to my niece is no, she just doesn't like black people. So that's the thing, as a minority, we've always had to find an excuse. We've always had to find an excuse to say, hey, don't forget, I am black. And a prime example of that as well is in the autobiography of Malcolm X, the chapter Mascot, where he said, I was surrounded by all these white people who were extremely nice to me, gave me a lot of opportunities, made me be successful in the world, but yet all of them still used the N word in front of me. All of them made racial jokes in front of me. He said, the teacher that I respected, I told him what I really wanted to be in life, what I really wanted to be, and he discredited my dream. And he told me I'd be best to be something else that I knew I didn't have the skills to be. But he discredited my dream and said I'd be good at something else. So you can't be colorblind to the issue. Even though you have black friends, or you may have friends of yours that believe that Black Lives Matter and they'll keep pushing it, you gotta understand they're not coming to be a vicious attacking person, or to be angry, or to be vicious. They're not doing it. They're doing it because it's a part of who they are. They can't help it that they're black. They can't help it that they were born black either. Like you can't tell them to ignore their color, because it's impossible. It's impossible for me to ignore that I'm black. Because when I walk out in the world, that's the first thing that people see. They don't see that I'm a National Honor Society student. They don't see that I'm an advanced placement student. They don't see that I'm a college student with a GPA over 3.0. They don't see that I have a eye condition called uveitis. They don't see that I'm bisexual. They don't see that I'm a woman. They don't see that I care about LGBTQ and women's issues. And they don't see that I read literature way beyond African American literature. They just see me as a black person, and they think that I'm always angry all the time. I'm not always angry. Sometimes it's just I'm misunderstood. So that is where all lives matter, is the heart of the ignorant, because they misunderstand everything. Like I said on Instagram, people have followed me on Instagram when I said Jesse Williams, he's part white, and I also have white in my family. But what he's doing is raising a consciousness. He's just telling you, hey, as a white person, this is the things that we have to go through. Even though we may be half of your blood, these are all the things we still got to go through. And when there's more minorities, like I said, I'm a quadruple minority. When there's more things that come to you, there's more things you have to deal with. So trust me, even for me, as a black woman, I got to make my sins known to black men, because otherwise it's never going to be seen. You know? You don't know how many times I've had countless people ask me, hey, are you into threesomes? And what's it like to have sex with a girl? And da da da, because I openly identify as bisexual. You know how many times I've had those type of ignorant conversations with people, and I've had to educate them on who I am, which is I'm a very monogamous person, and I believe in monogamy, and I believe in being in a relationship with someone and loving that person for who they are. So I don't do threesomes. I don't do anything that is a stereotype of me being a bisexual. But I still get the ignorant questions. And I still get the ignorant questions about extensions in my hair. Is this my real hair? Or I get crazy comments about it. Trust me, this is a lot of stuff. So, with the failures of all life matters is that I don't understand. You either don't understand or you misunderstand. So maybe with these sources that I put in this video, maybe you need to revisit and read something. Maybe it might open up your perspective. Now, let's get to Black Lives Matter, because that's what I represent. I represent that. And the reason I'm going to start off, the reason it's important to me is because I have a black father, and I have a black nephew, and I have a black niece. And they're growing up in a world where it's not safe to be their skin color, and it's not safe to be educated and highly intellectual. I promise you, if this was slave times, I promise you, I would be lynched because I know too much. They know too much. My dad especially knows too much. He was born in the civil rights era. He was born 2 years before Brown versus Board of Education. My dad was born in 1952, 2 years before Brown and Board of Education. And he was on his football team, black one of few black athletes on his football team, and within his high school, and within his classes. So I have two parents that come from civil rights. So they know that. They know this. They know all of this stuff. But one thing I respect about my parents is that they never forget who they are. They do things in life, and they taught us to do things in life that defy who we are. So that's what it means to be a minority in this world. Is to not only Be proud of your race, be proud of who you are, but also define it and redefine it so that other people can understand you. So that's what we mean when we say Black Lives Matter. Because it's not just Black lives, it's Black education matters, Black health matters, Black children matter, Black men matter, Black women matter, and Black issues matter. It's more than just Black lives. There's so many things that matter. But this is where Black Lives Matter gets real blurry because sometimes Black Lives Matter can be the heart of the stubborn. When it first started, and as it's always been, and any advocacy for Black issues, it's always been the heart of the compassionate, the frustrated, and the hurt. But it has also been the heart of the stubborn, sometimes the heart of the violent. And that's not cool. It's not cool. Because let's just be real. If we're going to talk about how Black Lives Matter with cops, then what we also need to talk about is how Black Lives Matter for ourselves. Because there's many YouTube videos, Vine videos of us using memes and Vines and Snapchats to make fun of our own people. Antoine Johnson is a prime example. Lord Jesus is a fire. That's a prime example. All the memes that you've seen of Black people, everything. We've made fun of our own culture. So if Black Lives Matter, then we gotta figure out, okay, just how much of our culture can we make fun of before it's way too much. Trust me, I love the stuff that we make fun of because it's the truth. It shows that we have power in our identity and that we're confident in who we are. But sometimes it's just like, okay, so how much of more of this can we keep doing, letting going on? And then also we need to focus on black violence as well. Because we can't just say Black Lives Matter and then the next day we shooting up, and then the next day in our neighborhood somebody's shooting up somebody and killing somebody who's Black too. So if we're gonna focus on Black Lives Matter, then we need to focus on Black crime too. That also needs to come in with it. So like I said, sometimes it can be the heart of the stubborn because we are so focused in proving to other minorities and other people why Black Lives Matter, but we need to prove to ourselves why Black Lives Matter. And we need to prove to ourselves that Black Lives Matter by actually going and looking at our history and finding out this is why Black Lives Matter. Because a prime example that a lot of people will use for arguing by any means necessary by Malcolm X, I just need y'all to be reminded that his own people killed him. No random white gun person shot him on a balcony like Martin Luther King, or within a Democratic primary function like Robert F. Kennedy, or driving down the street by another white man in Dallas, Texas for John F. Kennedy. No. Malcolm X, the main vanguard of the Black Power movement, who said by any means necessary in preaching about the white devil, the main person was killed by his own people. Killed by his own people. Marvin Gaye, the greatest musician of all time, who made the song What's Going On, was killed by his own father, another Black man. So if we're going to talk about Black Lives Matter, then we need to talk about Black on Black crime. That needs to be added. Meaning we need to start our own gun trading program and trade guns to get rid of them in our communities. We need to come up with our own drug rehabilitation centers within the hood so that people can come and get help and get the resources that they need and not having to go all the way to a facility on a different side of town and feel out of place because they're in a rehab center where no one relates as to why they have this drug problem or they have this alcohol problem. We need to build our own rehabilitation center in the hood and make people go to it and get help. The way that we can help our community is if we help it first. We need to stop asking other people to help us. We can do it on our own. Don't forget, in our own history, we've had an entire Black Wall Street, but because of jealousy and anger and rage, it was burned down because no one wanted to see us be successful. So we have to realize our own success and we have to build on it. So stop being stubborn and trying to argue blue in the face with all these minorities and all these critics and all these Republican people who say that all lives matter and then try to discredit you, and then you're pissed off and you're angry and you're taking your violence into other people and killing innocent people in the process. That makes no damn sense. You need to figure out what is it in your community that you need to do to make sure that they know the people that you're saying that Black Lives Matter to and the people that you're advocating for is actually someone that's on your agenda. Because for me, when I say that Black Lives Matter, me saying that Black Lives Matter is me being involved in the Minority Advisement Program here at Georgia Southern University. I've been doing that for 4 years since I've been here. I've been nothing but that and nothing but for minorities since I've been here. So if I preach that I'm here to help minorities, I actually go out there and I do it. If I preach I'm here for children, I go out there and I do it. If I preach I'm out there for women, I go out there and I do it. I preach I'm out here for LGBTQ, I go to LGBTQ events, I go to Pride, and I go to all these events to show my support because I go out there and I do it. So don't just go in the streets and try to advocate for Black Lives Matter if you don't even know what your own community needs and you're just living in it. Learn from your history. The Black Power movement not only focused on advocacy to the outside world about why Black Lives Matter, but they also started in their own communities. That nice free and reduced lunch that is nationwide in the Department of Education schools around the country, that started with the Black Panthers. They started free breakfast and lunch for the kids that came to their program to learn their information about their history at their offices. The free lunch, free and reduced lunch started with the Black Panthers in their own community. I'm not saying you need to start a Black Panthers chapter, but you damn sure need to figure out what these kids in your neighborhood needs and what the older people in your neighborhood needs. And that crackhead that you're making a joke about, you need to figure out what type of rehabilitation center that they need so they can get the help, so that they can be with their families and they can make a difference in the world. Those ex-convicts you keep making jokes about, you need to figure out how you gonna make them a part of society. Because just as D.L. Hughley said, once you take away something from a man for so long that he's done for so long, such as being a janitor and cleaning buildings and everything like that, once you take that away and give that to somebody else, that man is no longer wanting to stay because he feels devalued. You can't make him feel devalued. You have to make him feel valuable. So what are you going to do in your community to make Black people feel valuable? And if you don't have a reason for that, then maybe you need to stop protesting. Told you, I got nothing but knowledge. I'm gray matter, all up here. All up here. My whole life, my mom has said she got that gray matter. That's all she got. All she got is that gray matter. I'm trying to tell you, consciousness, gotta build it. If you don't build it, then where you gonna go? Now, I'm gonna end this video with something that I saw in one of the lists of documentaries that's down at the bottom in the description of this video. It's called The Outlist. It's a group of LGBTQ identified and outed singers, musicians, actors, all of that. This includes Wanda Sykes. This includes Ellen DeGeneres. This includes so many different important figures in American history who have outed themselves and are probably LGBTQ. And there's one individual in there that you need to pay attention to, and his name is Larry Kramer. Now, Larry Kramer is very, very important to the LGBT community because he is a founder. He is the founder of ACT UP in New York City, which is ACT UP is an advocacy group that stands behind and advocates for HIV/AIDS victims and their families. Meaning, since the 1980s, since the 1980s, in early to late 1990s, ACT UP around the world and in other places around the country have advocated for new advancements in medication, support for the HIV positive victims and their families, and forcing and pushing these medical pharmacies and these pharmaceutical companies to come up with medications that can save the lives of many, many HIV victims. When they first started ACT UP in New York City, Larry Kramer said that my friends were dying by the dozen. And he said I was angry. And he said anger is a beautiful emotion because you can get creative with it if you use it right and if you use the right people. So, For everybody that says that Black Lives Matter and you're angry, you need to find a creative way to say you're angry. Doing a protest is showing you're angry. Doing what I'm doing right now, using your social media to spread the word and to spread the message of what Black Lives Matters means to you, that's showing your anger. Encouraging people to go out in the street and do something in the community, that's showing your anger. Actually going out there and doing something in your community to make your black people better, that's you showing your anger. That's you being creative with your anger. They did demonstrations in the middle of New York City, in Times Square, blocked off streets, doing demonstrations to show people how important it was to get treatment for HIV/AIDS. He said, anger is a wonderful emotion. You need to learn how to use it. Don't be a coward and use a gun. Use your fist. Don't be a coward and use your gun. Use your fist for empowerment, not fighting people. Use your heart for caring about people, empathizing with people. Don't use it for hate. And use your mind for thinking. Stop using it for conditioning yourself to be influenced by other people. What I'm basically trying to say for both movements, and what I really mean in this whole video, in this whole 46-minute video, is this. If you're going to be an advocate for something, be an advocate for something for a reason. Don't be an advocate for something because somebody told you to. Be an advocate for Black Lives Matter because it matters to you. I'm an advocate for Black Lives Matter because it matters to me. Because I know that any day soon, I don't want my nephew to grow up in a world where he can't be a shining star the way he is. So if you're going to be an advocate for something, be an advocate for something because it means something to you. But also, most importantly, stop sitting on your ass and being hateful towards people. What you need to do is you need to look up and you need to spend a day to look at everything that happened before this moment. And what you need to ask yourself is two important questions, which was number one, if that worked for them, will that work for us? And number two, are we repeating history or are we redefining it? Right now in this day and age, I really don't know what we're doing. Because apparently, everybody out here being crazy in the world, doing crazy shit. So, we'll never know. We'll never know if we're making a difference in the world, and we'll never know if we're doing anything worth seeing. But let me tell you something. There's a keen difference between hatred and respect. Hatred is when you do things to hurt people for no reason. Respect is when you do things to hurt people for a reason. No white person wants to be confronted with the fact that that black family or that black friend that they had their whole life has been this angry about something like this. And they really don't want to think about it. But now they are put in a situation where they got to think about it. So, to close off this video, I'm going to say a quote that has put me through everything that I have ever been through and things that I have fully stepped back before I put up any sign, any protest, anything like that. Where I have personally stepped back and say, do I really, really, honestly want to put myself in it? And this quote right here. It's by Eddie Griffin in his stand-up show, in his stand-up special. You can tell him I said it, where he said, think. It ain't illegal yet, but they working on it. Think. So, peace, love, hair grease, power to the people, power to all the people. Feminine power, black power, women power, LGBTQ power, human power. Power to the people. Peace.